Welcome everyone to our daily Forex market analysis call, and this is in preparation for trading on November 17th, 2017. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started, this is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. We'll start off by taking a look at our economic calendar here. So today we had some data, and then we have a couple of important things that happened in the US today. Tax bill was a big thing that was the big thing going on in the US. So that has that got passed. And another thing here, that even though the tax bill got passed and the market was sort of looking at the tax bill to see for the US dollar, but we see here that the Trump's campaign was subpoenaed for the Russia documents. As a result, it kind of created some uncertainty in the market. So tomorrow, let's take a look at it. We have ECB President Draghi speaking first thing in the morning. So that one is important because anytime there's a central banker speaking, market is likely to react. And then we excuse me, we also have in the US session, and after that, not a lot of news. We have just current balance. So current balance is the difference between imports and exports. Usually it's an important number. So this will likely have some impact on the market as well, but this is not the final number. So that's why it's marked yellow here. CPI here, very, very important for Canada or Canadian dollar because because the central bank has, right now, they have put the interest rate hikes on hold for now because they want to see where the economy is going. But if the data keeps coming positive, if the CPI numbers are strong, retail sales numbers are strong, that type of thing, that will then give them a reason to raise rates. So that's why the CPI, which is the inflation number, is important. And of course, building permit numbers will be important for the US as well. So not a ton of data in the for tomorrow. All right, so let's take a look at our Euro US dollar daily chart here. We had a pin bar yesterday, and since then we have seen a bit of a drop, not as big as I would have liked to see. My bias is still to the downside, but it's not strongly bearish. So this is, I'm looking for a pullback essentially into this 1.1720 level for this, and then we'll see where it goes. So for now, I am bearish on this, but not, I'm not like completely bearish. So which means we could see price pull back up and then drop. We could also, which is a concern, see this. We could see a double top here. Price could push up all the way and then drop. So this 1850 level would be one level to watch. And then another level will be this level here, our support and resistance. So maybe slightly lower, right about here. So just above the pivot point, so we could see price come do this and then drop. But overall, I am looking for price to drop a bit more. But it's not a strongly bearish move, so that's why we have to be careful with this. Pound dollar is pushing higher. We had a neutral close. Now we have had a bullish close. We're still in this range, but now we are pushing towards the top of the range. So I'm looking for price to go and test the highs here, 132.30 level. And the first scenario that I would look for is price goes into that level and then faces resistance right here. So 132.30 will be an important level to keep an eye on. If the price goes beyond that, if it breaks this level, then we're looking for price to go higher into this 13300 level. So overall, the bias is to the upside, but 132.20 level or 132.30 level here will be very important. So we take a look at the 1 hour chart. As we can see, it is making higher lows and prices pushing higher. We have finally broken through this level, and we are maintaining above this level where the price had dropped from. So now looking for price to test this high, which is 132.30, 30-ish area up here. And this is where the decision point will be if the buyers are going to push this through, then we are looking for price to go higher into 13300. Aussie dollar here. Aussie, excuse me, Aussie dollar had a neutral close. So we have pins on both sides, very, very small candle body here. So as a result of this, basically price could go either way. So this will depend, all of these crosses, it will depend on the US dollar strength. If the US dollar is strong, then we'll see them drop. Otherwise, what we may see is price will come and test the low here. And then bounce off of that level. So in this case, we could get a move like this. So this will be very important, 75.67 level. So 0.7567 level will be very important, because if price bounces off of this level, like it did here, then we could see a move back into this 76.10 area, back into the support and resistance area. So right now, it looks like it is biased to the downside, because overall bias is to the downside. So, excuse me, so we'll stay with the overall bias, but very important to watch 75.67 level. If it doesn't break through it, then we are likely to see a bounce off of that level. New Zealand dollar here. A New Zealand dollar, we did have a bearish close for the day here. So overall, we are still bearish here. And I'm looking for price to test this 68.20 level back into here. And now price is starting to sort of suffer a little bit. It's not coming down as smoothly. So I would keep an eye on this. The closer we get to our support level, the higher the chances of bounce, and especially if this political stuff about this Russia probe and stuff like that keeps staying in the foreground, then we could have a problem. So that's something that we have to keep in mind as we are looking at this. If US dollar weakens, all the US crosses will likely go up. So that's what we have to keep in mind. For now, based on our technical analysis here, looking for price to move down into 68.20 area. Dollar CAD here. Dollar CAD is starting to turn now. Excuse me, it was following this trend line upwards now, and now looks like it wants to break down. So once price breaks down this level, so right now we are in a range. So the last couple of weeks, price has stayed in the range. It has had trouble breaking through this level, and now I'm looking for price to drop. So in this case, the target would be 125.50 level, this one to the downside here, but the first target would be 1.2700, excuse me, and then looking for price to move lower into 126.80 level. So that's what we're looking at for dollar CAD. We're looking for it to drop. Euro Swiss franc, looking very bullish. We did have a pin bar close, but that is a failed pin bar because price did not react or follow through based on the pin bar. So now we have closed very strongly here. Next move is upward now. This has given us a bullish bias on this, and yeah, that's a good level. So let's go back. Oops. Okay, so this is where we are. I'm looking for price to push through higher. So we are coming very close to the resistance, but if euro strengthens, this is likely to strengthen as well. So that's what I would keep in mind. We could see a breakout here, and we could see price move up higher. So overall, based on the daily close here, the bias is to the upside. Pound Swiss franc here, we have had a very bullish close on this one. So now I'm looking for price to move up higher here as well. Here, when we're looking for 131.70 level, back into the highs here. So the bias for Pound Swiss will be to the upside. Dollar Swiss franc, same thing. We have had a big bullish close for this one. So I'm looking for price to move up higher. And for this here, 99.80 is a good target for dollar Swiss franc. So looking for price to push up higher. So we could come and test this and then move higher. But overall bias is to the upside. Pound CAD here. Pound CAD is, the bias is still up. It's still looking bullish, but now we are starting to see a compressed move in this. So if we go to a 1 hour chart, as we can see, price is moving up, but it's not moving up like this, right? It's not moving up like this. So there's no momentum to the upside, or the momentum is waning at this point. So as we can see, the candles are getting smaller. So this is very similar to what we had for dollar CAD here. As we can see, the candles were good, and then they started to get smaller and smaller, and now we are seeing a turn in dollar CAD. So it's moving lower. So if we take a look at our pound CAD, it's starting to do the same. So we are still bullish, but we are seeing more pins on the upside. The candle bodies are getting smaller, and which means we could see a retest of this 168.20 level and then a drop. So in this case, I will look for price to move lower, but the first test will be to see if the price breaks above 1.6820. So if the price does not break that level, then I am looking for price to drop like that. So that's the move I am expecting, a retest of 6860 level, sorry, 1.6860 level, and then a drop from there. Pound yen. Pound yen is staying below this trend line. So we had, sorry, we had a bearish candle close, then price pushed up, and now it's still staying below the trend lines. For as long as price stays below the trend line, I'm looking for price to drop. So, excuse me, sorry, so the target here would still be 148.00. So I'm looking for price to drop in pound yen. And it actually looks good at the moment. Looks like it wants to drop. So so overall, my bias here is still to the downside for pound yen. Excuse me. So here, sorry guys, I have not been feeling too well. I think I'm burning the candle at both ends, so I'm just kind of making myself sick. So excuse my coughing there. Okay, here, so we have a very, very neutral candle close. So overall, I'm still looking for price to push down lower into 132.50 level here. But overall, the bias is very, very neutral, which means it could go either direction. But if all Japanese yen crosses start to drop, then we'll see this one drop as well. Aussie yen, this looks quite bearish. We did have a pullback here, but this is what we were expecting, a pullback into this 8,600 level, and now I'm looking for a drop here. So in this case, I'm looking for price to go into this 85.00 level. So that will be the target to the downside, 85.00. So the bias is bearish for Aussie yen. All right, last one here, dollar yen. Again, we had big drop, and after a big drop, it's important that we look for pullbacks before we take a short. So here we did see price pullback all the way into this level, went slightly higher to get some stops there, and now the bias is still to the downside because it held below, and now we're looking for a drop. I'm looking for price to go back into this 112.50 level. So that is our target for dollar yen. All right, so that's all I have. Any questions or anything to add? Okay, if nothing, so we'll call it a wrap. No trading for tonight, but we will have our webinar tomorrow morning. So it would be, so we'll do that at, what do we normally do, 9:30 a.m. Eastern? So question, Hamid, so how do I add the support and resistance line? So basically, let's take a look at that. We'll do a quick lesson on that since we are here. Let me delete some of them. Looks like it doesn't want to delete. Okay, so basically what I do is I take a look at where the price has reacted previously. And so here, this looks like a good support and resistance area because price has reacted multiple times. So I go grab my draw horizontal line thing here, and then I just drop the line over there. So as you can see, this is a good support and resistance level because price has reacted multiple times. So excuse me. So for the next one, I would take a look at where price is right now. So as we can see, price has reacted here. So this is an important support and resistance level because this is a clear swing low and this was a clear swing high. So we can see that. Not anywhere. So you want to put it at important levels where price has reacted previously. So that's the idea of support and resistance. We're looking for areas where price has reacted previously. And in this case, price has reacted here. So these are the big ones where we can clearly see that. And here we see that the price has reacted. Here, as we can see, price has provided us multiple pins into that level. So we know price has reacted. So if we take that and put it over here, you will notice price went exactly into that area to retest it. You want to see how to put this small trend line. In that case, you grab this little one, which is diagonal here. And so let's say I want to mark this level because I can see a pin here and I can see a pin over here. So I think this is an important support and resistance. So I'll just hold my left mouse button down and I drag it across. So sometimes on your MT4, you may see that it just goes forever. And in that case, you want to double click on it. If you double click on it, it will give you these little boxes here, which means it's selected. So if you right click on it, you want to right click on the line itself, you will see something that says trend line properties. So click on that and go to under parameters here. If you have ray on, so you will see this extends forever. So if you want to remove that, you want a short line. So you would double click on the line, then go to trend line properties, go to parameters and uncheck that. And when you do that, it will get rid of that. There you go, so it gets rid of it. And while it's highlighted, you can hold your mouse button down and you can drag this thing around wherever you want to place it. I like it here because see how price has reacted here. It pushed off of here and here we go. I just use MT4, Rahman. Like everybody has their own, but I just use, sorry, MT4. Okay, so it looks like something happened in the market here. Everything's shooting up. Okay, so that's how you draw a support and resistance line. And if you just double click this, if you wanted to change like the colors and stuff, you can double click the line here and just go to trend line properties and go to common and you can pick the color you want. You can pick like the type of line and you can pick the width you want, so you can sort of play around with it. If you wanted to, this is kind of comes in handy. Let's say if you wanted to mark different support and resistance levels. So for example, if you wanted to look at like hourly level or a weekly level, you can mark it with different shades. So that way you know which one you're looking at. Okay, anything else? Yeah, FXCM is fine. It's just the charts will look slightly different. So it's just everyone has their own sort of way of representing things, but candlesticks would be pretty much the same. So it looks like there's something going on in terms of politically here. Let me see what's going on in the market. Everything just shot up. So anytime there's political stuff that comes out, so with the Russia thing, anything else, so we see reports and stuff, it tends to have an impact on the market, and sometimes impact can do crazy things. So it looks like pound shot up very, very fast, and euro shot up as well. So I'm just going to go check to see what happened here. I subscribe to this news feed. Your broker may give you a news feed. Mine doesn't, so I just go to this fxpro.co.uk. They give you a free news feed even if you just have an account with them, if you just have a demo account. So they do not provide services to anybody in North America. So you have to be outside of North America to have their service. But I find even with an account, you will get, even with the demo account, you will get the news feed. So I do recommend checking it out. I don't know about the forecast. I don't really, I like to do my own analysis, so I don't look at it, but maybe. So that's the block. So you can play around with it. Just set up a, I would recommend setting up a demo account. So they do have this quant stuff, trading algo. Yeah, you'll have to play around with that. I'm not sure. I think they do. I think if you subscribe to their email list, they may send out something in the morning saying where they see what the market direction they're looking at. So you could see, yeah. So I would say play around with it. Any other questions? Okay, cool. You can take a look. All right, so we will call it a wrap for now, but looks like market is shooting up pretty fast, so I would take a look at that. I don't know, Hamid, actually where you would find pound index. I have not seen one. I have seen the dollar index, which is normally what I would look at, but I haven't seen like a euro index or pound index. So the only the index that I would know would be like FTSE for pound, which is more the stock index as opposed to the euro. Okay, so so if you found the euro index, that's not MT4. That will be your service provider. So whoever the broker is, if they provide the index, then it's that. So just be careful when it says euro index. It could also mean like euro stocks, not euro as in the currency. So just check on that. All right, so we will call it a wrap. I will see you guys in the morning then. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks, Anita. Bye, everyone.